We're here at Rawlings at the Lake Buena Vista factory stores. I'm here with Steve.
What's up, guys?
We're gonna talk a little baseball today.
You want to go in?
Let's go.
All right.
Today we're gonna talk about picking the right glove. And as you can see here, there's so many gloves to choose from. If someone comes into the store, a young guy, let's say, how do they know what glove to choose?
Right. Well, kind of the younger you are, it's almost easier. A lot of the little guys, like this, they're actually labeled by age. So like this will say like 3 to 5. We have 5 to 7 and 7 to 9. I would suggest sticking with those age points because it really does ring true to the size of the glove. Now, if you're kind of on the back side of the age, you can always upgrade the one size up. I wouldn't go much bigger than that. The big misconception with gloves is the bigger the better. That's actually really bad for players because they start getting to a point where they get off to the side and they can snag a ball a little too far away instead of getting over it. So I always say the smaller the better because it makes them kind of learn to catch the ball, get over the ball. The next step from the little guys is when you start going to 10 to 12, 12 to 14 into high school. So what you're going to want to look at is position and age. Those are the two main things to pay attention to. I know a lot of people will say another misconception is, oh, I got a big hand. I want a big glove to fit my hand. It's not about that. When you're dealing with a glove, this is the norm now. This is what you have, right? The bottom of your hand does stick out. A lot of people think the glove comes down here. That doesn't happen anymore. They found it gives you more mobility in the glove, make more plays. So I wouldn't worry about your hand size so much as position and age. For example, just to hit you with like a high school kind of generic. When you're pitching, you're looking at about an 11.5 to 12 inch. Catching is a 32.5 to 34 inch. First base is a 12.5 to 13. Second base is 11.25. Shortstop's 11.5. Third base is a 12, and outfield is about a 12.75. So what I typically do when I'm sizing somebody for a glove is I use those as sort of a basis point and drop it down if they're younger than high school. So if you're dealing with a 12-year-old, for example, and he's a shortstop, high school is 11.5 shortstop, so I take it off about maybe 1/4 of an inch to bring him down to 11.25. But remember that you will stay in one size for a very long time. Derek Jeter used 11.5 in Major League. So just because you're 12 years old using 11.5 doesn't mean when you hit high school you're going up to a 12-inch. That'll be too big. So remember, you'll stay in the same size for a very long time.
Nice, nice. Now, obviously there's a lot of different gloves here and a lot of different price points, from $50 to a couple $100. What's the difference in the glove as far as the prices go?
Well, for example, like this is a $30 glove here, okay? We have these, which are $250 gloves. You're gonna find similar cuts, similar sizes, similar everything, $250 to $30. There's not a big difference in that. Your major difference is the leather quality. When you're dealing with something around $30, you get something that's polyurethane, maybe some plastic piping and welting and things along those lines. Not that it's a bad glove, it's just something that won't last you very long term. When you go to this, it's more of an investment in time. When you spend $250, you're buying a high-end cowhide where the whole glove is cowhide, and that you pretty much keep until you don't want to use it anymore. So that's the big difference. You're either getting 2 seasons or you're getting however many seasons you want to play.
It could be lifetime. I know there's a lot of guys who take care of their gloves and use it for their whole major league career, whole pro career. If it's a high school career or college career, you could use it for a long, long time if you take care of it. And in fact, I'm going to do a video on how to break in a new baseball glove, and we're going to talk about some glove care tips in that video as well. So that'll kind of teach you how to take care of your glove along the way so it'll last even longer. So check that video out too if you haven't already. So one thing I noticed was there's a couple gloves that are the same exact size on the label, but they look totally different size. Can you explain that?
Yeah, okay, so both these gloves are 11.25. Now, one thing to remember is it's all pre-cut leather is what they're measuring, okay? Now, what happens is the depth of this pocket is a little deeper than this one. So with the depth of the pocket going in deeper, it makes the glove appear shorter. Whereas if it has a little more shallow pocket like this, it's actually going to make the glove appear longer. So they're both 11 1/4, but how deep the pocket is will kind of dictate how long the glove actually plays.
Nice, nice. One little side note tip too, for whatever glove you're wearing, and I did this my first year in pro ball, is if you kind of want to make the glove that you have already a little bit deeper, you can put 2 fingers in the pinky hole and move your other fingers over. Now you've created a little bit more space in which you can catch that ball. Just a little side tip.
The other thing that also does is actually raise the glove up off your hand a little bit more if you want to get a little bit extra distance or length with the glove.
Perfect. So I see it's broken down into sections here. Can you give us a little the information section by section? Sure.
Yeah, we have a sort of outfield. We have some outfield here up top. Then we go first base and catcher's mitts. Just to give you some info on some different gloves. Like, one thing to pay attention to when you got more of a younger player, 10 to 12, even 12 to 14, they do make gloves that are youth pro taper fit, which is meaning cut for youth hands. So you can still get a good quality leather. This is our Gamer series, which is a full grain cowhide. But this is something where you can get a 12-inch glove, so it's more youth player sized, youth hand cut, but you're getting a good leather. So that's options for some of the younger players. Our normal kind of basic stock gloves, they do go up to a 33-inch in catcher's mitt. When you go to more of a pro caliber, they can get up to 34. Do keep in mind, a lot of players now are going to the 34. The 34 is big, okay? It's a heavy mitt too, typically. So, you know, we tend to steer the players in the 33. The 34 is more when you're going college or something along those lines. These are more the first base mitt. Same story with this. This is also a 12-inch first base mitt. So a younger player can get a first base mitt that actually works for him. It's a full grain cowhide and it's cut for more of the youth player. And if you ever see on a Rawlings glove something that says XRD, that's actually the padding that we put inside. It's a very high dense padding that we put in our major league players' gloves.
And that's what makes it feel like real nice when you stick your hand in
You
it.
got it. It feels real nice, and also it could take the impact of a ball.
Oh, awesome.
So, and then when you come up to the outfield here, they do the same thing. They have some basic 12 3/4 outfield models, and we have some that are meant for youth players as well that go down to a 12-inch.
Cool. Let's go to the next section.
All right. Now we're doing like the infield outfield gloves. So we do these 11 1/2, 11 3/4. When you're dealing with these type of sizing, you'll see different type of pockets. Like 11 3/4 has this, which is more of a pitcher's web. So that's a common, you know, high school, even MLB pitcher's web. And then here 11 1/2, a lot of short stops, things along those lines, which the trapeze is very popular with the short stops, and even some eye webs, which it's easy to peer through when you're looking at pop flies in the infield. So that's a big perk of it.
Talking about the webs, that brings up a good point. Is there better webs for certain positions?
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of pitchers like to go with the closed web, try and hide, you know, the curveball, the changeups, things like that. When you start dealing with more of the open webs, it's really just designed, again, to block the sun when you're trying to peer through. It also just helps with being able to watch a ball go into the glove as well. So typically infielders really like trapeze, eye webs, something they can see through. When you're dealing with pitching, whatever you could do to hide the ball is obviously the perk.
And really, what looks best. Now we're in the infield glove section.
Right, yeah, we're dealing with 11-inch, 11 1/4, and a little more 11 1/2. This is definitely more your second baseman or even the 10 to 14-year-olds. The 11-inch, I love putting them in 11-inch because it's small enough for them to have to get over the ball, and it gives them a little room to grow when they go to high school. But you'll notice that most of your 11 1/4 are the I webs and even the V webs, some traps. That's because it's second base, shortstop for some younger guys.
So obviously a lot of different options, but what about the difference in the leather and the softness? I know some guys like a harder glove, some guys like a softer glove. How can they determine which is which?
It's very preference based, but what I will tell you, the stiffer the glove, you'll notice kind of the higher the quality. Because then you can actually shape it the way you want it. You can break it in the way you want it. When you start getting to a softer glove, you are more game ready. You know, something you could take out about a week of really breaking it in, then you can be ready feeling like your glove. Whereas obviously you spend a little more money, you get something that's almost like a brick, but then it's you shaping it, it keeps the shape longer. It's really preference, I guess, is how I would, is what I would say, but I've always liked a harder glove because then I can dictate how it's shaped.
Right, and those gloves tend to last a little bit longer. It's going to take a little more work to break in, but again, higher quality and just a better overall glove.
For sure.
Now, one question I have is about the gloves with the white lace. Is there anything in regards to rules or pitching with that?
Yeah, when you're dealing with white lace, typically it is not allowed for pitching. So I do suggest if you're going to do a pitcher's model, try to stay clear of any white lace or gray on the gloves or anything like that, because based on the umpire, they're not going to allow you to use it. So if you're going to pitch, try to find something a little more stock and standard just to make sure you're not going to have any issues with it.
So two of the most popular Rawlings Pro models are the Heart of the Hide and the Pro Preferred. Can you kind of tell us a little bit of the difference in those two?
Yeah, so when you're going to a Heart of the Hide versus a Pro Preferred, they're both full grain cowhide top to bottom, okay? So, and what I mean by that is all your piping, your welting, your lacing, everything is 100% cowhide, okay? When you're dealing with a Heart of the Hide, it's one of the thickest leathers on a cow. So that's why it's very stiff typically when you get it, but it also lasts as long as you want it. And in the MLB, we're typically almost 50-50 Pro Preferred to Heart of the Hide for player's choice. Now, when you go to a Pro Preferred, what you're typically dealing with is a Kip Skin Leather, which Kip Skin is an unstretched, unscarred leather. It's just slightly harder, but it's also even a little lighter weight than the Heart of the Hide. So it's also even a little harder to break in, but again, it's a glove when you buy, the plan is to keep it very long term.
Nice, nice. Now, can you tell me about this baby right here?
Yeah, this is the Gold Glove. When you're dealing with the Gold Glove, it is a Kip Skin Leather, but it's in the top 5% of Kip Skin Leathers. You're dealing with like Ferrari car seat type stuff. I'm talking really as nice as it gets. It's hand welted, just top of the line, everything.
I tell you what, man, I had this on my hand the whole video, and I love it. I love it, man. This thing is awesome.
I'll take that back now.
Thank you so much for that great information. If they saw something here in the store that they liked, how could they get a hold of you?
Oh, they can, if they want to call the store, we do phone orders. So if you give us a call, if you see something you like, you can order it right over the phone, and we can drop ship it to you for free.
Anywhere in the U.S.?
Anywhere in the continental U.S.
Mention this video when you call in, and you're going to get 10% off your order. Some exclusions may apply. Rawlings was nice enough to let me give away a Pro Preferred glove, brand new. All you have to do is leave a comment down below on this video or any of the other Rawlings videos that we shot, and let us know your favorite piece of Rawlings equipment. You also have to be subscribed to my YouTube channel with notifications on. This way you'll be notified when the other videos come up and when I post the video on July 4th of who's gonna win this bad boy. All comments are selected at random, so go get your comment in now.
Good luck.